guys, it says it's 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna call this meeting to order. If you would, please stand. Staple, Council Staple, gonna do the motion.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful unto thee for the opportunity to gather in this city council meeting. Pray for thy spirit to be with us. Help us that we will be able to discuss those matters that are of importance, that we might do it with dignity, and that we might do it with caring for all involved. We are grateful unto thee for our community, for the citizens, for the care that goes into our community. We're grateful for all of those who serve. Bless us as we discuss these matters, that we might be guided by thee in the decisions that we make. Bless us, we pray for and thank you for. In the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please do stand to the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Kelly, you do the roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Staples.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Calvert.
Here.
Lee.
Here. Let the record reflect. All here. Next item is to adopt the agenda.
Motion we adopt the agenda as is.
I make the motion that we discuss the water issue and add that to the agenda.
Not second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on that one?
I agree with that. I forgot that we need to discuss that, so I'm in favor of that motion.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor of this, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed with like signs. Now we'll go back to the original motion to adopt the agenda. Councilman Brown made the motion. We need a second on that.
Second.
Councilman Porter, that's second. Is any further discussion?
So you need to amend his motion to include as amended. We got it.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed with like sign. Record shows passed unanimously. Next is the financial statement for May. I'll entertain a motion on that. Hope everybody's looked it over.
Make a motion to approve the financial statement for May.
Second that motion.
Let the record show that Vice Mayor Jones made the motion, second by Councilman Staples. Any discussion on the financial statement?
I just wanted the high bar claim, we discussed that was the back taxes, they paid for those, they've already taken care of that. Okay.
And there was a change on the personal property, and there's some of that as well.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the like sign. The record shows passed unanimously. Now, the minutes for June 18th, 2026. Hope everybody's looked them over and everything's okay, or if you got changes to them.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 18th meeting.
Second.
Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Jones and seconded by Councilman Calvert. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by like sign. Motion unanimous. Got your sign sheet. Got the timer. Ms. Heather, you want to come up and speak?
Are you going to talk about the water? I'm just wondering what your agenda is tonight. If you're going to talk about the water, that's what I want to talk about. So I don't have some statement, I just have questions about the water.
We are going to discuss the water situation.
So you want me to wait until then?
No, you can do it now.
Okay.
How long?
3 minutes.
Well, I don't have a general statement, I just have a lot of questions, and hopefully you might be able to answer them in a 3-minute timeframe, so.
You know, we can't answer questions right now.
Can't answer.
They can't speak until motion's been made.
This is just your opportunity to speak, so say what you want to hear.
Okay, so I'll just say what my questions are, and maybe when you're able to speak, you can address them. I'd like to know what the standard operating procedure is for when a water main breaks in our town, how and when the water is typically tested when and if a main breaks, and what transpired when the most recent water main broke, how that was handled. I'd like to know if we test our water by strips or a digital device or both or some other method. I'd like to know what our current water data safety shows, how it's testing, what those levels are, the level of chlorine. I'd like to know more details about the most recent public post on Facebook about Saturday being potentially the earliest we might be able to lift a boil water notice, where that comes from and where that time frame came from. If that was from the state saying perhaps 48 hours from now, or just a little more transparency about what our water levels are currently testing. I'd like to know why the notice was made so late the night that you posted that we should boil water well after most people had already gone to bed. And I'd like to know the plans which you may or may not be discussing for a better public notification system for water customers, and if they might not be forced to absorb the cost of that, considering the bills are already quite high for Westmoreland residents in Sumner County. And I would like to have someone spell out a clear explanation of, is the water currently safe? There's been conflicting information in one sentence saying there are no contaminants in the water, this is a precaution. I understand that you may not be testing for contaminants in the water, or the water may not be showing contaminants in the test if you're performing them, but that doesn't mean that water isn't contaminated if we aren't currently reaching state guidelines for treated water. So there is potential for water to cause harm to someone if it's not at state guidelines. And so that's confusing information. If we have to boil our water, it's not just for nothing. It's because the state says this is the safe level and these are the guidelines and this is why we have to issue a boil water advisory. I understand no one wants to cause harm and panic and say our water's contaminated. I understand if you haven't seen something in the water.
Time's up, Heather. Thank you. But I will say that some of those things that you're wanting to know, we probably can't answer in our discussions tonight. All right, we're going to move on to new business. And the first item on here is to allow department heads 3-step discretion for pay scale based on experience for new hires. I think we talked about that at work study.
I motion to approve, which one we talked about in the session meeting.
Second.
Let the record show that Councilman Calvert made the motion to approve, second by Vice Mayor Jones. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, Ms. Kelly, will you call the roll, call for the vote, please?
Borders,
Yes.
Staples,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Let the record show that passed unanimously. Next item is the resolution R072026-2, surplus items to be auctioned off. And we discussed that. I think we got a The resolution's got a list of the items that's gonna be auctioned.
Make a motion to approve resolution R 072026-2.
Second that motion.
Let the record show that Vice Mayor Jones made the motion to pass the resolution, seconded by Councilman Staples. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, call the roll, call for the vote, please.
Staples,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Borders.
Yes.
Let the record show that it passed unanimously. Before I go over to this next resolution, I've got a question for Mr. Bradley, if I can. The welcoming signs, the IDB is paying for all this. But they haven't, one of the members is trying to get IDB to pay for it, but they have not voted on doing that yet. So do we need to go ahead and pass this resolution or wait?
You could just put, you could just amend it to say, this resolution is contingent on approval of the appropriation of funds from the Industrial Development Board, just add that. That way, if they don't do it, this doesn't happen.
Correct. Did you get that, Kelly? So I'll entertain a motion for that.
Make a motion to approve resolution R 072026-1 with the recommended changes made by legal counsel.
Second.
Let the record show Vice Mayor Jones made the motion to pass the resolution, the second by Councilman Borders. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, call for the vote, please.
Jones,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Borders,
Yes.
Staples.
Yes.
Let the record show that it passed unanimously.
So that was the amendment you just passed?
Yes.
So now you're going to make a motion.
Well, maybe. Did you get a main motion? Did you get a main motion? Did it?
I included it in
Okay.
the amendment.
So you made a motion to approve with that amendment?
With the
Okay,
change.
so that's fine, that's fine.
All right, next item is financing a new fire truck.
I think the recommendation from the finance department was to defer that.
Right.
I would make the motion to defer.
Do we know how long that needs to be deferred to?
September, October.
Which one would you like? Do you want me to be specific? September or October? Make a motion to defer till the October discussion meeting.
I'll second.
Let the record show that Councilman Calvert made a motion to defer, and second by Vice Mayor Jones. And deferral has no discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Calvert,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Borders,
Yes.
Staples.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Let the record show that it passed unanimously. Now, the next item is what we added on. No, I don't have any right now. They canceled a lot of meetings last night, so very little. How do y'all want to get into this discussion right here?
I can open it up with some thoughts. I think,
Suspend rules
Yes.
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion's been made to suspend the rules, second by Councilman Calvert. Is there any discussion on suspending the rules? Seeing none, call for the vote, please.
Jones,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Borders.
Yes.
Staples.
yes.
Let the record show that it passed unanimously. We'll let you go ahead, Mr. Councilman Staples.
Okay. I think, it appears to me that we have two separate issues. One is the issue of the water main break, which I believe is separate from the contaminant or the lack of chlorine in the water throughout the system. Okay, the water main breaks happen. When you have old pipes in the ground, they break, and it takes as long as it takes to fix them. My understanding is that once it has been repaired, those lines are flushed and chlorine samples are taken. That may be where we figured out that we didn't have enough chlorine in the system. I don't know without Mr. Sizemore here to give us more information. But that's typically how, in my experience, how water main breaks are done. Their repairs are made, they're flushed, there's samples taken and tested for chlorine so that we know that there's no contaminants in the lines, and then they're put back in service.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Can't do it this week here, just right here.
So my feeling is that, like I say, we're discussing two separate items. The water main break may have been where we caught the fact that we don't have enough chlorine in the system, not knowing for sure exactly how often and where all of those samples are taken throughout the system to test for chlorine residual. So I don't know what the state regulation on how regular that testing. I'm assuming that it has to be daily, but not the entire system probably. So again, Mr. Sizemore would have more information on that. But not having, my feeling is, again, without him here to clarify, that it was after the repair of the water main that we probably figured out that we didn't have enough chlorine in the system and the ability to go forward with that, which was later in the day, thus the lateness of the posting of why of the oil order. And I'm not trying to make excuses. I just believe that with the information that we have, that's what went on.
I think the more I spoke with Aaron, what he told me was the immediate moment that he figured out that we were at that level is when he made the decision, and it was at that time. He didn't wait 2 or 3 hours
Right,
later.
right.
When he found out, when he started making the calls, that was appropriate, what he was supposed to do. He followed the steps of what he's supposed to go by to take care of the problem and to issue to the public, so that everybody knows.
And the notices that were made were upon the state's recommendations. The state's, he did everything the state told him he was supposed to do. I mean, obviously, there are other steps that we could take, and we'll explore those options as far as mass text messages or mass automated phone calls and things of those nature. But Aaron did everything that was recommended to him by the state.
And not just.
And timely.
Just bring up the fact, the reason he's not here is not because he didn't want to be, it's just, he's worked for 2 days straight, and he said he
You
was
can't
wore
talk
out.
this one.
And
Well, I was just gonna give you clarification on what he said.
No, not this way.
He needed some rest, so we felt like that was, because he still got some busy days ahead.
Did you say that Bert, you spoke with Bert Gore?
Spoke to Bert Gore, our rep with USG. I think it's still called USG. They're the company that maintains our water towers and our water distribution system, our water meters. And he's supposed to be exploring a chlorine booster. I can't remember the word he called it, but a chlorine booster that will automatically measure and distribute chlorine into the system within our storage tanks. And he said with the mixers that we've already got installed in there, it will help to regulate and evenly distribute chlorine throughout our whole system, rather than what we're doing now, just in a temporary basis to try and address an issue where we're incorporating chlorine at the base of the hill. And it's probably a little more concentrated there than it will be in the rest of the system, which is why they're having to flush everything. And to expand on what Adam had said earlier, Aaron said it, before we can lift the full order or recommendation rather, he's probably more than likely going to have to flush or test every line in the system, which takes some time.
Now, didn't Bert tell you there was some stuff that could be added to the meters that would notify? all
Well,
that stuff?
it can't be added to the meters, but to our billing software, or the software Kelly and team use in City Hall. There's a portion of that software that some of the newer systems come with automatically that can send out text bursts or text notifications if there's gonna be an outage in an area, like with the water main, there was a large outage, and that was another source of concern from people, was that, you know, they weren't notified of an outage, which, you get, turn on the faucet, there's no water there. But if we were to incorporate this, which may or may not be able to be added to our system, I'm waiting on callback from Bert to tell us what cost might be for that and what that might look like if we have to add a different piece of software or subscribe to a different program in order to add that in, what that would look like.
And we did have a cold red. Cold red went out of business, right? And the county took up what, Never Bridge, or Everbridge, but they're not quite up and running yet, are they? So we do have a plan that with that app, you know, you notify a lot of different things, traffic outage, wrecks.
And two, another issue that may even still be an issue with the system through USG is if people have to sign up for this, I mean, it's only as good as, it's only gonna go out to the people that sign up for it.
Right.
And so we have to find a way to distribute this information to people to get them to sign up for it. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. But, you know, if people are unwilling to sign up for these things, they're not gonna get a notification. That was the problem we had with Code Red. We tried to get people to sign up for that, and we didn't have a whole lot of success with getting people to sign up for it. And I don't think it was the best system anyways, because I tried signing up for it and I never got any notifications.
When I first moved here, we had a reverse 911 when everybody had to subscribe to an in-house hardline phone. But that's since gone away. At least it went away at my house. So, but email isn't a viable option because I know several people in town who do not have an email address. They don't, for whatever reason. Don't care what that reason is, they don't. So you can't send out an email. A lot of those same people don't receive text, so a text doesn't work. And trying to find, like you say, a good solution that covers everybody, short of just driving around the city, knocking on doors and saying,
We don't have the manpower for that. But I would like to note that it was us who reached, or the city, it wasn't us individually.
Right.
It was the city that reached out to the news organizations to let them know, we have this full recommendation, you know, and we weren't trying to hide it. We were the ones who reported it to them so that they could spread the news, spread the word out to some of those older folks that don't have Facebook but watch the news religiously, you know. But I mean, it wasn't for lack of trying. We did everything the state told us to, and the news organizations were
And that's
part of it.
mandated, that's mandated to make sure that we communicate with all the news agencies.
We're not the only ones that was affected either.
We're right.
There's another utility.
Cascade and Spring suffered the same situation, and really, the new line that we put in that's been online, or the new line that's online. The new line that came into service last week on the 8th, I think it was, is an upgraded line, and part of the law of unintended consequences is we're finding that, you know, when the decision was made to upgrade the size of that line from a 16 to a 22-inch line, we don't have the flow through that line to maintain the chlorine residuals in the system, which is now why we've got a booster pump at the bottom of the hill.
And I think the state's gonna make Gallatin put a booster pump there at Bethpage.
they probably will
Yeah.
have to.
And Aaron told me the one that's at Branchford is temporary. So he's getting some prices on the permanent one. And I told him that, just for y'all's information, I told him to go ahead and find out what the cheapest price to get ordered, because this is an emergency situation, and go ahead and get it done.
Well, but is it better, well, I don't know, because we have customers that receive water before it gets to the water towers. I think we have to do something at Bransford, and maybe do something as well. in the
Unless
water towers,
Gallatin's putting one in Bethpage.
Unless Gallatin's putting
Right.
one in Bethpage.
That's what I was
Affect our
wondering.
water.
I think state's making both of them done. I think if the state's gonna make it require Galvin to put one there.
Well, and if we put one, well, but if we do the thing with the tanks, Bert was saying we can put one on that tank down there in Brandsburg, and that would be a lot
And that
better
would
than
be
doing it in line.
Right, than doing it.
But since we have the mixers in there, they're more evenly distributed in the
Right,
system.
right.
And that's what we're waiting on price.
All right, back to, the notification system. Chief, can you check in to different sources? What would be the best way to notify our customers
Can.
and get back with us?
I think there are several different ways with that new system to be able to send messages out, but we still are in talks with the county to see exactly what we can push out.
Okay. All right.
I'm hoping we can send out voice messages over phones, kind of like you get a message on your phone or voicemail on your phone.
Yep.
Yeah, and the other thing too is the state is also who is mandating us to remain under the warning. And the state being TDEC, the health department, and I feel like there's another entity that I'm forgetting. But there was a lot of hands in the situation here that was dictating our actions.
Might be the state EPA.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I remember there was a lot.
Well, and just to provide another, one of the comments that was made in public comments earlier was the level of contamination or the reasoning for the boil order. It's not necessarily that there is contamination in the water or that there is any contaminant in there. It's that because the chlorine levels were so low, there could be something present. And
Bacteria.
similar to a tornado warning, it's much better for you to seek shelter rather than to stand in the front door looking out looking for a tornado. Go ahead and boil your water, just in case there's something there.
It's a precautionary.
It's
step.
precaution,
Precautionary.
you know.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and boil your water, continue boiling your water until the decision has been made from the state to allow us to lift that.
All right, that, all y'all want to discuss? Till Chief gets back with us on that information, then when Aaron comes back, we can discuss further.
I would like to propose we just put it, I know this, can we just put it on a work study to discuss a new communication system?
Is there something similar to Amber Alert? I get Amber Alerts from Paris, Tennessee. Places like that regularly, I would assume that there's got to be some sort of
Yeah,
system.
there's something, we just gotta.
Registered voters.
Okay, pay for it.
All right, if nothing else, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made to adjourn. Second? It's now open for discussion. This meeting is adjourned.